Look, Knicks Nation, I hope you're enjoying your MLK weekend. Martin Luther King's birthday, I think his actual birthday is on the 20th. Let me just see. Yeah, it's actually January 15th. So his actual birthday was yesterday. But we are celebrating it today. So happy MLK birthday. Martin Luther King, of course, everybody wants to talk about the peace and, and how he was the peaceful man and he changed. Look here, the reason he was killed, in my opinion, is because he started becoming more militant. And when he said he was going to take the march to Washington to come get our check, and he wrote the laundry list of why, that's when he was murdered. See, I don't like when they try to reevaluate the history of a brother and try to change his image to something that's different than what he was. They do the same thing with Malcolm X. They try to make Malcolm X soft. Malcolm X was not soft. Okay, no. So anyway, I just want to, put that out there. Anyway, happy Martin Luther King Day. I hope you enjoyed your weekend. Hopefully you're off today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field and the first responders out here every day trying to save lives. Blessings upon those also that pick up garbage for us to keep streets, sidewalks, parks, recs, buildings, stairwells clean and disease free. Those that do the humble work also of delivering goods for us, water, food, mail, so on and so forth. Double blessings on the men and women that are out here trying to help rescue and deliver the teenagers and children from the clutches of the perverse, the profiteers, and those who are out here doing the perpetrating. And those that are also victims of child molestation, pedophilia, those victims of prostitution, child prostitution, pornography, child pornography, those victims of human trafficking and sex slavery. And again, double curses on those perpetrators, double curses on those profiteers, and double curses on those nasty perverts that make this industry possible. Finally, blessings upon the homeless. There are nearly 600,000 men, women, and children without a roof over their head right now. And most of them are kids that represent the future. And millions around the world in similar or worse conditions, and blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. Knicks Nation, welcome 2189, welcome Anu Foro, welcome superstar Omari Belgrave, Cash Out James, Meyer Society TV, welcome Stephan, welcome Miss Nancy Stevenson, welcome to all of y'all, glad to see y'all. Listen here, so yesterday, the New York Knicks had a basketball game yesterday, as we are aware. And yesterday, they played the Detroit Pistons. And yesterday, they beat the Pistons 117-104. Now, the Pistons put forth their best effort. They did. They put forth their best effort. What's up, Leslie Henry? What's up, Norman Davis? The Pistons put forth their best effort yesterday. They did. They was coming at the Knicks as hard as they could. Look here. The Pistons are like that little kid when you was playing ball, right? You was in the street playing ball, and you was like 16, 17, 15, and these little runs would come around 9, 10, and you say, man, little man, get on, go on. And then that little man that later on will become a big man, and while you was trying to push them away, you could take advantage of them but then once they started to grow into mountains and whatnot, then you knew that was different. Well, that's the Detroit Pistons. Right now, they're the little men. Okay, right now. Okay, when Cade come back, Jaden is already showing what he could do. That team is going to be a problem. And I like the management team they have. They're patient enough, and they're not in New York, obviously, or Chicago or Philly, where they wouldn't be patient. But they're patient enough to let this development continuing to build the right way. And they have got the makings of a squad. So right now, when you get a chance, if you're the Knicks, you need to take care of them. So they start biting at the Knicks' heels yesterday. And what did the Knicks do? That's what the Knicks did yesterday. The Knicks won their third straight, 7 out of their last 8. But we got a dangerous one today. Okay, dangerous one today. Toronto's always dangerous. But, this is a different type of year. And most Knicks fans don't recognize, until some big media platform tells you. But I'm telling you, this is a different type of year. The Knicks are winning games that normally they wouldn't win, right? They hadn't won in Denver, I don't know how long. They hadn't won in Toronto, I don't know how long. And that's I know Denver didn't have the Joker that night, but the key thing is that it's happening. The Knicks are winning games that they're supposed to win. They are one of the best. I think they're second in the whole NBA in terms of winning record on the road. And we like for them to protect Madison Square Garden, but let me tell you something. That's going to happen. See? And let me also say this. I understand in Knicks Nation, everybody wants things to happen immediately. You want to win the championship immediately, right? You want, you want changes to happen immediately. You want trades. As soon as you see something wrong, let's make a trade immediately. But let me explain to y'all. Some of y'all got it, so I ain't got to go. Sometimes I'm talking to the choir, but let me just explain to y'all that don't understand. Please take the whole trade paradigm out of your mind right now. And you'll look, and all of these people, I'm concerned about this. I'm concerned about that. Sometimes, let me explain to you all. Sometimes, matter of fact, Coach Krzyzewski at Duke, he wrote a book. I never read the book, but the concept of the book he explained, and it was pretty deep. He said, it's not about the finish as much as it's about the journey, right? Enjoying the journey. You know what that means? So right now, the Knicks are 6th in the East. Right now, they're on an upswing. Right now, we're seeing the development of a big three. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But what I'm telling some of y'all, instead of being so concerned we need bench scoring, or I'm concerned reduce his shot, or I'm concerned about how many minutes they're playing, enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey. Take a minute and say, our Knicks are top 10 in offensive rating, defensive rating, net rating. Our Knicks are top 5 in rebounding in the NBA. We got 2 all-star level players right now, and a third one in RJ on the way up. Okay? And we haven't really hit our stride yet. Enjoy the journey. Knicks Nation, did you hear me? Enjoy the journey. Stop all of this. I'm concerned about that, and we need to trade for this, and we need that. And again, some of y'all should know better, because and I know, the media is always trying to get y'all to jump. You know that, right? I mean, all of these cats on these platforms are trying to get y'all to jump. Now, let me be fair and honest with y'all, as I try to be all the time. If my channel blows up, to 20,000 or 10,000, that's nice. But honestly, if it doesn't, that's nice too. But to be honest, if you want to be real about it, in order for a channel, like, let me talk for a second about my man CP the franchise. And I'm not trying to be negative on him. I'm just trying to be real with y'all. And y'all tell me if you think I'm not being real, okay? I'm not hating on this brother. I'm just using him as an example, okay? So let me talk to you about him for a second. This brother is blowing up his channel. If you remember, like 4 or 5 years ago, that channel was nothing, right? That channel was nothing. But how did CP blow up his channel? He started bringing people that were national figures in terms of basketball on his channel. Not necessarily these guys knew what they were talking about, but he brought them on his channel, and that caused him to blow up. You understand? I mean, that's what he was doing, because his goal was to blow up the channel. You hear what I'm saying? So you got to bring guys like an Alan Hahn on your channel. You may not agree with Alan Hahn, but you got to bring him on your channel. You got to bring people that are big time on terms of big time platforms on your channel. And then you got to go on some big time platform. And sometimes you got to read the script they give you. I'm not blaming CP. His channel blew up. It worked. You understand? That's all I'm saying. If I was trying to blow my channel up like his, I would do that. But I'm not. My channel, one of the reasons I'm called Raw Remnant is because I keep it real. I don't care what anybody thinks. Y'all know that, right? Y'all know I don't give a crap what anybody thinks about my analysis. If you like it, I'm glad. I'm happy for the love. Don't worry. I love that. I like the love. But if y'all hate, I don't care either. You know what I'm saying? It's raw. So I mean, so like it is what it is. You understand? So that's what I'm saying. And I'm not trying to be negative, but that's why I'm saying brothers that's trying to blow their channel up, that's what they got to do. They got to bring on people with platforms, people that got connects on the large platforms, people that got connects with people at ESPN, people that got connects with Bleacher Report or whatever. You understand? You got to bring these dudes on your channel. It doesn't mean, and y'all know me, it doesn't mean they know what they're talking about, because quite honestly, most of them don't. But if you're trying to blow your channel up, you got to bring these brothers on board. Okay? That's all I'm saying. So that's why this channel is going to be a little different. You'll never hear me say, please like and subscribe, because I don't give two craps. Just saying. You'll never hear me say that. Okay? This ain't what it is here. I'm a Knicks fan for 50 years. I support the orange and blue no matter who's wearing the uniform. If they're wearing that uniform, I'm going to support that dude. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Some of y'all get it twisted and be thinking like, you be reading some of this crap on one of these media reports and act like I'm supposed to. I ain't buying into that. Most of the time, I'll be quite honest with you. When I treat Knicks media on the big platform the way I treat regular media. And I treat it like this. When I first hear it, right, my first thought is they're lying to me. They don't know what they're talking about. So let me find the truth. That's my first thought. Okay? That's the first thought I have. I'll be honest. When I hear any media, I don't care what channel it is or whatever. When I hear it and it's a national platform, I'll be like, they don't know what they're talking about. That's the first thing. And you know why? Because so many decades of hearing crap, of watching hit pieces on the Knicks, of seeing people from newspapers back in the day and everything, hit pieces on Knicks. Because why? Because Dolan, they was mad at Dolan. Like yesterday, I think it was yesterday. It might have been a couple of days ago. I saw, I think it was on YouTube. I don't know where I saw it, but apparently James Dolan has this facial recognition. Did you hear about this already? He has this facial recognition. So when you walk into MSG, they got cameras that use facial recognition and can know who you are. And so wait. So he has been throwing out certain lawyers. And I first saw the headline. I said, wait, what do you mean throwing out lawyers? So then I read it. Okay, and I said, why is James Dolan throwing lawyers out? And he is throwing out law firms, the lawyers from law firms that are suing him. And they're making it seem like he's committing a crime by doing this. And it's at the Knicks games. I think they said it was at Ranger games. It was something like that. So he's using, if your law firm is suing him, he's using facial recognition to say, "Oh, you suing MSG? Or you suing me? You can't come to none of my product then." And you know what? I like that. I like that. Oh, so wait. So you want to sue the Knicks owner and you want to still come to the game? He ain't having it. But see, that kind of stuff is what causes media to hate him. And see, I recognize, and I guess what I'm saying to y'all is y'all need to recognize that. Recognize when it's hate. And it's mostly hate. Okay, it's mostly hate. Before this season began, right, Rockettes too. It was Rockettes, it was Knicks. That's right. You right. Meyer Society TV. That's right. It was Rockettes, it was Knicks. But my point is, it was anything owned by MSG. Anything owned by a Dolan, controlled thing, he got you. And he's like, oh, no, you getting out of here. You ain't coming to my event. And I was like, yeah, my man, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. See? So I'm all into that. That's what I'm saying. But I recognize beginning of this season, be honest now, how many platforms, big platforms said the Knicks were going to be 6th seed in the East by past the halfway point in the season? How many big platforms said the Knicks would have a team where they would have a big three form and a real big three? And I'm going to tell you why that's happening. You know what I'm saying? Not many. And so what happens is, and this is the thing that bothers me. Now, look here. If I'm wrong about something, I'm going to tell you. Like last year, I wanted them to get Cam Reddish. Y'all remember that? And I was high on Cam this summer. I was very high on Cam. But I also said, based on the situation, he needs to ball out. He needs to ball out. Like, I need to see 20 points a game from him, right? And when we didn't, And now everybody is still trying to, Cam done wrong, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, it's time to move on. Because, I wanted him, but he's not what I thought he was. I'll tell you. Okay? Ain't no problem with that. Because, I learned a long time ago, you want to be a man of the truth, you got to recognize when you're wrong. How am I going to learn if I don't recognize when I'm wrong? I can't be perfect, right? So I can say, okay, I was wrong here. No problem. I was wrong here. Some people act like that's a big deal. Oh, you was wrong. Yeah, listen, man. If I say that's no big deal to me. That's how I learn. That's how any man learns. How you going to learn if you ain't get an answer wrong? You understand? But I have to say also, some of y'all know, most of the time I ain't wrong, though. I have to tell you, a lot of times I ain't wrong, right? So, yep. So, look here. No, I'm not wrong about McBride. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not wrong about McBride. Y'all are wrong about McBride. Some of y'all down in McBride are wrong. And I'll tell you why. I explained this to y'all before, but some of y'all don't want to hear the truth. Some of y'all don't want to hear the truth. Deuce McBride is a rhythm shooter. Rhythm shooters, especially, need consistent minutes. Did you hear what I said? A rhythm shooter needs consistent minutes. If you give him 6 minutes one game and 19 minutes another, you're not going to get consistent shooting from a rhythm shooter. Some guys are like microwave. Like they can come off the bench cold and stick threes. Most of the time, those guys, that's all they could do. Okay, they're not great defenders. They're not great distributors or whatever, but they can come off the bench and stick threes for you. Kyle Korver comes to mind, right? You get a Kyle Korver, he could come off the bench cold for you and start knocking down threes. But don't ask him to play no defense now. And don't ask him to do no playmaking. But when it comes to knocking down that three ball, he can come off the bench and do it. Deuce needs consistent minutes to bring you his shot. He got a shot. It ain't just G League, and it wasn't just at West Virginia. This brother can shoot, but he needs to sweat. He needs to know he's getting minutes. I thought he would be getting them by now, but he's not. But what happens in those scenarios, like I said, when you get a guy that's a rhythm shooter like a Deuce, and you bring him off the bench cold, he's going to do what he naturally does best. And with Deuce McBride, it's defense. So Tom Thibodeau knows he could throw Deuce out there with 30 seconds left. He could throw Deuce out there in any big situation that needs a stop, and he's going to get you a stop because that's what he does best. But don't think, and even Thibodeau knows he can shoot. Thibodeau called Deuce McBride a scorer. And that's another term for what I'm telling you. He needs rhythm. He needs minutes. He's not getting them. I'm not worried about Deuce long-term, and I'll tell you why. He's on a cheap contract, number one. Number two, the more you're in Thibodeau's system, the more he trusts you. Okay? And don't forget, Deuce is 22. Next summer, you don't think he's going to throw up 500 shots a game? You don't think he's going to come back ready to play next training camp? And this season's only a little past the halfway point. Don't sleep on him. That's all I'm saying. People make short-term, short-sighted judgments without looking long-term at development or understanding the player himself. Okay? It ain't like I just decided I like Deuce. Some of y'all know I was talking Deuce before the draft that year. I was telling people about Deuce McBride. And so I'm not worried about Deuce. He's going to get his chance. Okay? All right? I'm not worried about it. So all y'all saying I was wrong about Deuce, y'all need to start looking longer than just the last 5 games. Okay, take a little longer view than that and understand what development looks like before you start talking about Deuce. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay, and some people compare him to Frank. That's dumb. Let me tell you why. Frank Ntilikina had defensive acumen on an elite level, but that brother was not available when he needed to be available. I'll be admitted that. As far as the defensive acumen, the hip work, the footwork, the 7-foot wingspan, he had all that. And I felt like he could develop an offensive game, but he never got a chance because Deuce always hurt. That ain't Deuce, though. Deuce tough as nails. Deuce tough as nails. Okay? So that ain't going to happen to him. Okay? That ain't going to happen to him. Okay, so I'm not worried about Deuce McBride. Yeah, Frank in Dallas, but whatever. But my point, he's always hurt. When it's time for to step up and play, pull groin, or pull sore knee, or whatever. And I'm like, you know what? Nah, that ain't Deuce though. That ain't Deuce. When time for Deuce to step up and play, he ain't gonna be hurt. He's gonna be there. His shot may be off, but somebody getting locked up. I know that. See, so yeah, that's what I'm saying. So everybody, so all this Deuce, I was wrong about Deuce. Get up off of that, man. Stop it. Stop tripping. Stop tripping. It ain't like that. Okay, that ain't like that. Now, earlier this year, Shalom, my man, Castillo, Shalom. Earlier this year, when the Knicks started, earlier this year, what was the cash out change? You crazy. Earlier this year, when the Knicks started, I told y'all they did not have a big three. Oh, a good question. Leslie Henry asked about Roku. We're going to talk about him in a minute, too. I just made a note of that, Les. We're going to get to Roku. But earlier this year, I told you the Knicks did not have a big three. Okay, when I think of a big three, I think of a crew that, like, let's take LeBron, let's take Bosh, let's take D-Wade. All three of them cats was all NBA. Before they came together in Miami, they was all NBA already. All three of them. Not just all-star, all NBA. Okay, that's big to me. That's big time. Okay, so that's what I consider. And to be that good, that means you're one of the top 10 or 15 players in the NBA. That's a big three. Okay, that's a big three right there. Yeah, that's a big three right there. So that's what when you're thinking of a big three, that's what I'm thinking of. So the Knicks, I told you in the beginning of the season, they did not have a big three. Did not have one. Okay, they had three good players, but they still had to develop. But at this point, it's almost like, you ever see like a movie where they do this visual effect where it's something's not there, then all of a sudden it's starting to form, and then you see it. You hear what I'm saying? Can you catch that vision? Like, in other words, you're looking, and then all of a sudden something it's almost like with Star Trek. When they landed somewhere, and then all of a sudden you start to see the molecules come together, and all of a sudden they there when they was getting beamed down. That's what's happening now. You're seeing the molecules come together. Okay. That's what's going on. And so they're developing to a big three. And one of the things a big three has in common, all big threes have crystallize. That's right. When you start to see it crystallize, that's what's going on with the Knicks right now. It's not there, but it's crystallizing. Okay. And what is that? What do I mean? One of the attributes of a big three is that you'll never see a game when all three of them are not on point. There's always going to be one of them that could kill you. Okay, that's what makes a big three. One of them that could kill you any game. So if you lock up one, or one is not shooting well, there's two of them that can still kill you. So, and you're in real trouble if all three of them are clicking, right? And then if you got two of them off for whatever reason, you got one of them that's clicking. With the Knicks right now, it's RJ, obviously Brunson, and Randall, right? And so right now they're forming a situation where at least two of them are always clicking. So like yesterday, RJ didn't play badly, but he wasn't on like he can be on. I think he scored like 13 points yesterday. Let me look at it. I think he scored, let me see. Barrett played 27 minutes, scored 13 points. Yeah, he wasn't at his best yesterday. He didn't stink or anything, but he wasn't at his best. But then look here, Julius Randle, 42, right? Julius Randle, 42, 15 to 24 from the field, 4 of 7 from 3, 8 of 8 from the line, 15 boards. That's all NBA type business right there. That's all NBA type business right there. And then Brunson, 9 of 17, 2 of 4 from 3, 7 of 8. He had 5 rebounds, 4 assists. He had 2 personal fouls, 27 points, plus 20. Okay, it's forming. And this is the exciting part about it. It's forming. It's not fully formed yet, but it's coming. That's the exciting part. Remember now, enjoy the journey. Knicks Nation. I should have entitled this video that. Maybe I'll change it. Enjoy the journey. It's forming. Enjoy the journey. The baby is developing, right? So let's enjoy this journey, man, because it's happening right in front of us, okay? And that's why I'm excited about it. So we are forming. You can kind of call it a baby big three right now, but it's forming. And so right now, I'm really believing Julius Randle is going to be all NBA. Forget the All-Star. To me, that's a lock. He's an All-Star. But I'm talking about all NBA. That's the big one. I think he's going to be second team all NBA this year, maybe even more. Brunson is coming. Let's say Brunson doesn't make the All-Star team this year. Let's say he doesn't. Next year, he's a lock because he's going to come back the same way. He's going to be a lock next year because now all the league's going to know on notice. You got to watch this dude, right? They're already on notice, but next year. So Randall and Brunson are coming. And then, of course, here come our boy, Rowan. Okay? Rowan Barrett Jr. is coming. Okay? He may not be coming as fast as some of us want him to come, but he's coming. Okay? Rowan is a problem. Okay, and I have this one brother who I respect. Keep coming at me saying, you know, he got to improve his quickness. What your brothers need to understand a little bit is Rowan's strongest attribute is his strength, is not his quickness. He gets his money by his power, by his strength. Boy, is strong as a brick doodle house. He's just a mini in terms of strength. He like Jimmy Butler. Okay, except he's gonna shoot that three better by the time it's all over. Rowan is going to do his thing. See? So RJ is awful on defense. What the hell you watching? I don't know. I can't help you, bro. RJ ain't awful on defense. He takes on the biggest defenders. And that's why RJ is now this year stepping up because you got now Quentin Grimes that can take on the best offensive wing on the other team. Yes, this is going to get very, very good. This is going to get very good. Now, right now, I think they're on, what they on pace for? 46 wins, something like that? 46, 47, something like that. The Knicks are on pace for, I think safely we could say 45, right? We talked about 45. They're on pace for a minimum of 45 wins right now, the New York Knicks, okay? They're on pace for it. Got to play Toronto today. Now, this is Toronto's problem. Toronto would be really good, but they're missing a 5. That's all they're missing. If Toronto, and they don't need to have an all-star 5, if they got a competent 5, they would be a problem, okay? They're still, as we know, they could still be a problem for the Knicks, okay? But let me tell you this, man. Speaking of KP, watch Toronto. Watch Toronto. Imagine Kristaps Porzingis next to Siakam, OG, and Van Fleet. Can you imagine? And then Gary Trent Jr. still there. And then, of course, the kid, you know, from Florida State there. Can you imagine? That would be scary. That'd be scary. And the guy, Burks, that they have starting whenever he's healthy would be coming off their bench. They would be, and then you got Boucher still coming off the bench. That's going to be scary if he ever went to Toronto. See, Toronto needs a 5. They can look at Kristaps Porzingis. They could look at the fire sale getting ready to happen in Chicago with Vucevic. They can go cheaper and look at one of Orlando's bigs that they got to get rid of, like a Jonathan Isaac. That's the guy they would really like, a Jonathan Isaac. But they could really, they really could be dangerous if they got a 5. That's not happening right now. See, so that's why they're struggling. They need a 5. They don't have the 5 guy. When they won the chip, they had big dude in the middle at the 5 spot. I forgot who it was, but they had big dude in the middle that used to play for the Memphis Grizzlies, and he came to and he played the 5 there. They had big dudes in the middle at the 5 spot. They don't have that right now. Gasol, right. They had Marc Gasol at that time when they won the chip. Marc Gasol, that's right. And then before that, they had the dude that's now in New Orleans at the 5 spot. See, they don't have that right now. They need a guy like that at the 5 spot. They need a guy like that. So right now they don't have it. Okay. And that's why they're struggling. And again, when that's the case, what am I saying? If the refs don't intercede, they have no answer for Mitch Rock. They have no answer for him. He could get 15, 18 boards against this team if the refs don't intercede and mess his rhythm up. If he's out there doing his thing, they got no answer for Mitchell Robinson. They just don't. Okay. And as a defensive anchor, that would be a problem for Toronto. Okay, so we're going to see what happens, but I like the Knicks' chances. But KP, let's get back to KP for a second. We're going to talk about Roku Jokobitis in a minute, but let's get back to KP for a second. Why do I like KP on the Knicks? Number one, KP has an opt-out clause that he can exercise this summer. Let me talk about this piece by piece. So follow me closely, okay, Knicks Nation, follow me closely. So you can see where I'm coming from with this. And I was talking about this before. This week, it seems like y'all notice everybody seemed to be on that topic this week, but we was on that topic a month ago. We was talking about that, right? I was talking about a month ago, right? About KP coming to the Knicks. Some of y'all thought I was crazy. And now all of a sudden, everybody's starting to see that vision. But let me explain why I think it works for the Knicks. He's got an opt-out clause. I think he's due $37 million next year as an unrestricted free agent. Okay? Now, generally speaking, when NBA players are in the position of Kristaps Porzingis, what they try to do is maximize their long-term income. See, he's got $37 million coming 23-24. But he'd rather get $100 million over the next 3 or 4 years, if he could. That's what he'd rather do. Okay? Now, he's 27. He's in his prime right now. Okay? He's in his prime. So let's look at the options. If he opts out, he can walk away from Washington for nothing. Did you hear me? That's an option. If he opts out of his contract, he can walk away from the Wizards for nothing. So we wouldn't have to give up anything to get him. It's only money at that point. Y'all following me so far? It's only money. Okay? It's just money. You're just talking about money at that point. You're not talking about giving up any assets at that point. Okay? Because he can opt out. Which means that if Washington wants to make a move for him, they better do it by this trade deadline. Okay, they better do it by this trade deadline, because if they don't do it by the trade deadline, and Kristaps Porzingis, one thing I notice about him when it comes to certain things, he's tight-lipped. Even with the debacle that happened in New York, which he's very sorry for, by the way, he was tight-lipped. His brother was doing a lot of stupidness, but he wasn't saying much. So he's not going to tell him what he wants. So if they're going to trade him, they better do it by this trade deadline. And then even so, there's no guarantee he re-signs with the team that trades him unless they have an agreement before the trade. That's also a possibility. But he can walk away for nothing this summer. And I'm telling you this, if Washington goes this whole season and doesn't re-sign him or trade him, everything's on the table. He can go to any team he wants. He's an unrestricted free agent. He can go to any team he wants. Okay? Any team he wants. Bradley Beal is going to be begging him to stay. They don't pay Bradley Beal, $500 million. They got that contract signed and sealed. So Beal getting over $200 million. He's a little past his prime. He's going to beg KP and Kuzma to stay. He's going to beg them to stay. Okay? And if you were him, you would do the same thing. Okay, if you want to have any chance of winning. But KP, he could walk away. He could opt out and that's it. Now, what's he looking for now? Look, 27 years old, injury history. He is a star. He's not a superstar. But joining a Randall, a Brunson, and an RJ, he's familiar with RJ. He's familiar with actually, a couple of these guys, but he's familiar with Brunson. They played together in Dallas. He's familiar with the Knicks. He's familiar with the MSG. He's familiar with the organization. Okay? So follow me. It's possible that the Knicks could get him on either a 3-year deal worth about $90 million or a 4-year deal worth about 100, a Brunson type deal. Okay, let's assume the Knicks could get him like that. And how would the Knicks make it happen? You have $14.7 million of D Rose coming off your books. You have about $6 million of Cam coming off your books. And then the biggest hurdle right now is Fournier. You got $19 million of Fournier. That's where they got to earn their money. The Cam situation and the D Rose situation is easy. That's not even a problem. So you're talking about right there between those two, you're talking about $20 million or $21 million. You got to move Fournier's $19 million because then that gets you into $38 million range. if you can sign Kristaps Porzingis, you can get him in that 25 to 27 million over 4 years. So now listen to this. Your Kristaps Porzingis, you're replacing 37 million with 100 million. Okay? That's what NBA players look at. They're looking at that. They're replacing 37 million with 100 million. Now, where would he play? I'd start him next to Randall. What about Mitch Rob? Mitch Rob would be with Obi, Mitch Rob, IQ, and Deuce for Mobb Deep. That would be scary for the NBA. They would be a major problem. So now you got Kristaps Porzingis, Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, Jalen Brunson, and Quentin Grimes. That's your squad. That's your 9-man rotation. Okay, that's your 9-man squad right there. And I would move iHeart. I would move him. And then I'm going to move Sims up into that spot behind as the third string center. Now with Kristaps Porzingis, this is how I would do it. I would rotate Kristaps and Randall at the 4. Randall's going to obviously get most of the minutes at the 4. But when he's out, you're going to have Obi and Kristaps. I would rotate Kristaps and Mitchell Robinson at the 5. So Kristaps is going to play a little 5. He's going to play a little 4. Mitch Robinson's got his back at the 5. You got Obi and Randall at the 4. See? So you rotate them. And you're still only having 9 men. You're only still going to have a 9-man rotation. Okay? So that is how I would do it in the ultimate scenario. And so somebody would say, Kristaps is hurt too much. And you are right. He has been hurt too much. But he's been the focal point. He wouldn't be the focal point on the Knicks. Brunson's going to be number 1 option with Randall. And then RJ. He wouldn't be the focal point. I've been watching him this year. He's learned to play within himself. That's why he's not getting as hurt this year as he has in times past. He's learning to play within himself and play a more smarter game, which he's very intelligent basketball-wise. So that would help. Now, let's assume the worst case scenario. We sign him to $100 million and he's out for the year. Okay, what do we have? We have what we have right now. We start Mitchell Robinson. We got Sims behind him. We roll. No, Mobb Deep's still ready. See what I'm saying? So in that way, it's not a high-risk situation. You see what I'm saying? Y'all understand? This is not as high a risk situation. It's a risk, but it's not as high a risk. Okay? Because what you got right now, like I'm telling you, you keep the 9 guys that the rotation makes up right now, and you play them the rest of this year, and you play them next year, you got 50 wins next year. Okay, that team is good enough, 50 wins. But you add to that a Kristaps Porzingis. Now you're talking Eastern Conference Finals next year. Okay, you're talking Eastern Conference Finals. So that's why I wouldn't pay him $30 million a year. I'm not giving him the $158 million Dallas gave him, but I'm going to give him I'm going to give him a Brunson style contract because that's what he is now. He's a Brunson style dude. I'll give him a Brunson style contract, $104 million over 4 years. You understand? And so you combine those guys, and to me, that's ECF time right now. You're talking ECF, okay? Especially with that bench of Mitchell Robinson, Obi Toppin, Emmanuel Quickley, and Deuce McBride. You're talking Eastern Conference Finals. That's what you talking about, okay? That's what you talking about next year, okay? They're challenging Milwaukee, Philly, Boston. They're up there now when you start talking like that, okay? So that's what I'm saying. And so, just to review, because some of y'all wasn't here, wasn't listening. He's not he wouldn't be the focal point. But let me tell you something. How good is Kristaps Porzingis as a third option? How good is Kristaps Porzingis as a third option? How good is he as a third option? Okay. So that's all I'm saying. Okay. So now Randall. Julius Randle is all NBA. To me, he's all NBA. I'm just looking at him. Like I said, the all-star is a given. He's all NBA. Okay. And Jalen Brunson and RJ Barrett and Quentin Grimes, all of these guys together with Mitchell Robinson help him become all NBA. Why? He's not required to carry the load. He's not required to do that. And because of RJ, and because of Brunson and the threat of a nice sweet jump shooting guy like a Grimes, Julius gets a lot, as you'll notice, a lot of one-on-one possibilities in the half-court set. And look, I've always said, even when he was on New Orleans, there's no person in the NBA. No, there's a couple of guys. Let me not front. There's a couple of guys. Scotty Barnes could probably guard him. Thanks, Parrish Duggar. Salute Raw Hebrew. Always love your solid approach to all things New York Knicks and in life matters. Stay solid. Thank you, Parrish. I greatly appreciate that, my brother. Greatly appreciate that. Thank you very much. What was I saying? Oh, so there's very few players, put it that way. Maybe a Scotty Barnes, maybe a Pascal Siakam, maybe a Kawhi Leonard. There's a few guys that can guard him one-on-one. There's a couple of guys, elite defenders, right? But for the most part, there is nobody. For the most part, most teams don't have somebody that could do that. Okay, Milwaukee with you got Lopez, you got and Lopez is really a good defender. He's really gotten better since he's been in Milwaukee. You got Antetokounmpo. They can guard Julius Randle one-on-one, but very few players. Tatum can't do it. Forget it. Tatum can't do it. He's not going to be able to do it. Brown can't do it. I'm thinking the top echelon teams. Maybe the Mobley kid could do it. Maybe at this stage, he's still like a leopard getting his spots. he could, but there's not many guys in the league that could guard Julius Randle one-on-one. Not many. Okay, so when you get him like that, he's dangerous, man. And that's what's been going on. He dropped 42 yesterday because Detroit didn't have anybody that could guard him one-on-one. Nobody can. And so the only thing that stops him from just dominating a game all the time is getting rid of the basketball. Sometimes he's usually doing it now, more this year than ever. But sometimes he still holds on to it a little too long, and that causes a problem, and we get turnovers. But for the most part, I'd say 80% of this year, that's not been a problem. Okay, that's not been a problem. Okay, so with Julius playing like that, the Knicks are going to be tough to beat. Let me tell you something. Nobody wants to face the New York Knicks in the playoffs this year. Nobody. Everybody, you're going to see everybody's trying to avoid whatever it is. If the Knicks are fifth, everybody's trying to avoid the 4th seed. If the Knicks are sixth, nobody wants to be in the 3rd seed because you don't want to deal with this team in the playoffs. Because this is the type of team that will send you home in the first round and cause your coach to get fired. That's what type of team we got right now. Okay? That's the New York Knicks right now. Okay? That's the type of team we at right now. So nobody wants to deal with us. And let me tell you something. Like I tell you, enjoy the journey, Knicks Nation. Enjoy the journey because they're going to get better. We ain't seen the best yet. They're getting better. I'm telling you, they're getting better. Okay? They are getting better. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey, New York Nation. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy it. Don't worry about this and worry about the minutes and burning them out. No, enjoy the journey, brethren. Enjoy the journey. It's coming together. Okay? Just enjoy it. Enjoy the beauty for what it is, man. This is one of those seasons. Listen, how many of y'all felt like this? Beginning of this season. You look back 2 years and you go and you said, man, can they get back to that? Man, I wish they was like that. Remember that? Didn't a lot of people think like that? Man, if we can get Julius Randle like he was 2 years ago, man. Remember that? Well, look here. Julius Randle's better than he was 2 years ago. He's not just as good. He's better. The Knicks are better than they were 2 years ago. 2 years ago, when we became the 4th seed, they had Elfrid Payton starting at the point guard spot, a defender, but could not shoot the broadside of a barn, right? Y'all remember? They had Reggie Bullock on the wing, could shoot the lights out at times, but don't ask him to dribble the basketball now because you're going to have a problem, right? They had R.J. Barrett that was 20 years old, 20. Mitchell Robinson was 22 and he was hurt. And then they had brick hands, right? Nerlens Noel, who played all NBA level defense that year. So that was 2 years ago. And they better now. They are better now. And some of y'all hating on Tibbs, you need to stop, man. what he did with that team 2 years ago, even the pundits was like they overperformed. They was like they overperformed. That's why Tim got his second coach of the year. Well, here we are now. And we got Mitchell Robinson that we drafted, RJ Barrett that we drafted, Quentin Grimes that we drafted, Obi Toppin that we drafted, Emmanuel Quickly that we drafted, Sims that we drafted. And we signed as a free agent Julius Randle, who's coming into his own as a superstar on the Knicks, and Jalen Brunson, who's out with a chip on his shoulder trying to prove he's worth $100 million. And brethren, we moving. Okay, we moving forward, man. You know, see what I'm saying? So, hey, listen, there's always going to be some issue, right? So right now it's Hackerstein, iFart, whatever you want to call it. I hack, whatever. I hack. That's a good one. Hackenstein. That's the problem. Well, you know what? You got to live with the bumps. You know what I'm saying? You got to live with the bumps. You got to live with the bruises. You got to move forward. You know what I'm saying? You got to go with it, man. Right? It's not going to be perfect right now, right? We're not like the 1990 whatever Chicago Bulls 72 and whatever, or the Golden State. We're not there. But enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey. We're on our way. Now let's talk about Roku Jokobitis. Let's talk about Roku Jokobitis. Lefty. I think we should be calling, there was this gang back in the 80s in New York called the Westies. Y'all remember them? Back in the 80s. There was a gang, and they were called the Westies because they were from the west side of Manhattan. So they were called the Westies, right? So I was like, with all these lefties, we can call the Knicks the West Side Lefties, right? Because we got Randall and RJ and Brunson and Roku Bite. They're all lefty, man. And then if we draft my man Chris Murray, another lefty. We can call them the New York Lefties, man. The West Side Lefties. Because that's all we got is lefty. Hey, listen, at least it works, right? So look here. Left side story, that's right. NBIC, I like that one. Left side story. I like to live in America. The left side story. Yes, indeed. So, but Joku, let me tell you, I think some of y'all already know. Joku could play. Okay. That young man can play ball. He's going to be 21 this year. So he didn't want to come to New York and ride the bench. So he wants to play. Now, this is the thing. I still like having him if Emmanuel Quickly decides he wants to be a starting point guard for somebody. See, that's the thing. People in the media are writing it as if the Knicks are shopping Emmanuel Quickly. The Knicks are not shopping Emmanuel Quickly. They want Emmanuel Quickly to remain a New York Knick for his career. The key issue is, does Emmanuel Quickly want to remain a New York Knick? Or how important is it to Emmanuel Quickly to start in the NBA? That's the key thing we got to remember here. How important is it to start for Emmanuel Quickly? If he's happy, and this is the thing, a lot of it is going to depend, brethren, on how far the Knicks go this year. So if they end up the 6th seed or better, and they end up winning a first-round series, I think we can keep Quick. I think they're going to have to pay him now. They got to pay him. And I don't mind that. They're going to have to pay him, but I think we can keep him, okay? But if not, if there's a first-round exit, or if he doesn't see any way that they're improving in his mind and he can go be a starter for another team. And again, he could start for the Wizards right now. He could start next to Beal right now for the Wizards, in my opinion. He could start for the Houston Rockets. He could start for the Miami Heat right now. He could start for several teams in the NBA right now. I think he's better than a lot of starters that are out there right now. So if he wants to go start somewhere, we'll lose him. Enter Roku Jokobitis. So right now, you'd have Roku come in. Roku, to me, being that he's been playing in the league, in the Euro League, he's played in the Summer League already. Maybe you run him in the Summer League, but I think Roku is a guy that could come in and be in the rotation. Right? He'll be in the rotation. I think if IQ wasn't there, he'll come in and be in the rotation. And Roku could ball. He can. Okay, he's a different style player than Quickly, but similar in terms of effect. He can really ball. I don't know about his defense, but he's crafty. He's very crafty. He's 6'4". He's a full 6'4", from what I gathered. I don't even know if he's grown yet, but he's a full 6'4". And so you get him in there in the rotation, then Mob Deep, and I think we just keep on going. Yeah, he would be a great fit with the Wizards. He would start right now next to Beal. He would. There's no doubt. He's better than whoever they got at the point guard right now. There's no doubt. The Wizards have been like the Knicks. They've been looking for a point guard since they lost Wall. Since they gave up on John Wall, they've been looking for a point guard, and they haven't gotten one. Quick would be that guy right off. 22, 23 years old, long term, you got your point guard. And so I can see that happening. But that's why we want a Roku Biden. Now, Roku Joker Biden. Now, if he stays, I don't know what we're going to do with Joker Biden, because Joker Biden wants to play. He wants to play. So I don't know what we're going to do with Joker Biden if Quick decides to stay. That's the issue. So right now, I don't know, and I don't like to guess, because this is a difficult one. It's up to Emmanuel Quickly. It's all up to Emmanuel Quickly. He's got all the cards. Believe it. He's got all the cards. The Knicks need him, and other teams want him. He's got the cards. He's got the leverage, okay? He's got the leverage. So it's up to him. Does he want to stay in New York and take this 72 to 80 million that they could probably offer him? Or does he want to go start for the Wizards or start for the Miami Heat? He could do that. He's good enough to do that, okay? He really is. I would look at those two players. Somebody said, would I look at Clarkson or Trent Jr. only if we lost Emmanuel Quickly? If we lost Quickly, I would look at him, yes. Because now you're replacing your bench scoring with one of those guys. So imagine that now. And let's not even talk about KP. Let's just talk about what we got now. If you got Obi Toppin, and let's call it for next year, let's call it Jericho Sims, and then you have, you either have Clarkson or Trent Jr. along with Deuce McBride. That's a hell of a bench unit right there. That's a hell of a bench unit. Hell of a bench unit. But I don't know I don't want to deal with the Ripper, because the Ripper don't know how to act. You know what I'm talking about. I'm being serious. Jack the Ripper, this fool don't know how to act, man. He always looking to rip people off. So, flock him. You know what I'm saying? Mother flock him. He always looking to rip somebody off, the Ripper. That's why it's hard to think about Clarkson, because he always looking to rip somebody off. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. That's what he wanted to do this year. He was trying to rip the Knicks off. Mother flock the Ripper, man. He crazy, man. That dude crazy. But I want to look at Jordan Clarkson's contract. Let me just take a look at this here. Let's take a look at Jordan Clarkson's contract. I like Jordan Clarkson coming off our bench, man. That cat would be rough, man. But only if we lost Quickly. If we lost Quickly, I would, I wouldn't have a problem. Okay, so Clarkson's got 1 year and 14 million left on his deal. He's unrestricted 24, 25. He's 31 years old. He's kind of at the end of his prime, but and this is serious though. Guys that are bench guys generally have a little bit longer shelf life in terms of their maximum potential, in terms of their upside. So like their prime would last longer. Picture like Jamal Crawford, right? Jamal Crawford was dropping 40 all the way to like his late 30s. So you can get a guy like a Clarkson off your bench, and you got 1 year with him. You ain't got to worry about even paying him the next year if he don't work out. So you have that coming off your bench. That's only if we see the Quickly thing is the important thing here. Okay, the Quickly move is the important thing. So what is Manuel? Manuel Quickly holds all the cards right now. So if he decides he's going to stay in New York, we don't need to talk about Trent Jr. We don't need to talk about Clarkson. But if he decides to take the money and run, let me see, Gary Trent Jr. He's expiring. Gary Trent Jr. is expiring. He's got 1 year left. He's got a player option this summer. He's got a player option, $18.5 million this summer. And he's only 25. So he'd be even more valuable. So if Quickly is leaving, I'm looking at Gary Trent Jr. Caruso is not even worth talking about. He's not even worth discussing. Alex Caruso, he's not even worth discussing. Why do I say that? I'm not replacing Quickly with Caruso. Well, let me ask you this, Michael Drake. That's a question about that. Let me ask you, Michael Drake. If you had to pick between Alex Caruso, Gary Trent Jr., and Jordan Clarkson, who are you picking? Who is your last pick in that? Who's the last one you would pick in that trio? If you had a choice between Gary Trent Jr., Jordan Clarkson, and Alex Caruso, are you taking Caruso? You know what I'm saying? He's not even, and if Caruso, well, I'm saying this summer, no, that's not true. I don't know who said Trent Jr. is going to be 25 this summer. He's 24 now. He's not 23. He's 24. He's going to be 25 this summer. But that's what I'm saying. So I'm not taking Caruso, and I'm certainly not bringing him on board now to replace anybody in my 9-man rotation. So it's not even worth discussing him. No, D Rose is not playing. He's not in the rotation. So wait, so you're going to take Caruso, who also will be in the rotation? That's what I'm saying. Why would you do that? Would Caruso want that? You know what I'm saying? No, you don't. No, there's no place for Caruso. And there's no place even for Trent Jr. or Clarkson unless IQ decides to leave. If IQ decides to leave, then okay, now you got something. You can't, Pudge Nice, the way the league works, you can't cover every contingency for every injury. You cannot do it. See, that's why you have a bench. You have 9-man rotation, and you can use any of those guys into your starting lineup if you need to. But that's why you have a 9-man rotation. If one of the guys in the 9-man rotation gets hurt and you don't have a backup, that's why Tibbs is doing now. He went with 8. And some of y'all was tripping because he had to put Fournier in there. That's what I'm saying. No, no Alex Caruso. There's nothing. We don't want him. No. There's nothing. No. And like I said, the other 2 guys we want, he did leave his ankle, but I don't want to hold that against the ball head brother. I mean, Caruso can play a little bit. I ain't fronting. Caruso's a pro level player now. Don't front, but he's not as good as Gary Trent Jr. and he's not as good as Jordan Clarkson. He's just not. So, and he's really a 6-man. That's his role. But if I'm losing IQ, all right, put it this way. IQ decides to go to the Washington Wizards for $100 million. We can't get Clarkson because we're dealing with the Ripper. Well, we could because Clarkson could be a free agent if you want to. Got a player option, we can't get Gary Trent Jr. for whatever reason. We can't get them. Then we'd look at Caruso. Okay, you understand what I'm saying, y'all? So if we can't if IQ leaves, he's out the door. He said, "I'm gone. Send me to Washington." And then you can't get Gary Trent Jr. and you can't get Clarkson, which is unlikely. I think the Knicks could get one of those. Then you could look at a Caruso because that's your third option. That's your third bet. He'd be like what Julius Randle was the year that Scott Perry and my man went out there and signed him. He wasn't their first choice. Julius Randle wasn't the Knicks' first choice that year, but he was what was there, and they took him. That would be Alex Caruso. Yeah, I agree. So if we get KP and keep the same team we have now, shoot, you talking some game right now. You talking some game. Yeah. You talking some game right now. Nah, we couldn't win. I'll be honest. I don't think Trent Jr. is better than Emmanuel Quickly. At best, they're the same. But I wouldn't rate Trent ahead of Emmanuel Quickly. I'll take Quick. Okay, so no, we wouldn't win 50 games just because we had Gary Trent Jr. We wouldn't. Okay, no. But if you're replacing Quickly with him because Quickly leaves, okay, yeah, we could still win 50 games. Okay, we still could, but yeah. So I'm not, but if we could sign Kristaps Porzingis and keep our same team, man, what's that dude just say? Man. Remember that dude? What happened to that dude? Does he have a channel? Remember that brother? Man. Remember that dude? I forgot his name. He was cool, man. I don't know what happened to his channel though. Wait, is he still on? You all know who I'm talking about. Man. Ron, that's right. Ron Cleveland, right? Yeah. Where's Ron Cleveland? He got a channel? KP don't have to be a great rebounder, Leslie. You don't have to be. Look, the Knicks are the number 2, I think, rebounding team in the NBA, if not number 1. And Julius Randle, y'all know Quentin Grimes is underrated as a rebounder. Some of y'all, Quentin Grimes is underrated as a rebounder. He's underrated, okay? He is a really good rebounder, Quentin Grimes. And don't sleep on RJ. He'll get you 5 or 6 boards a game, okay? I'm not worried about that. And we would still have Mitch Rob coming off the bench. Yeah, y'all. Nah, Yeah, Ron Cleveland is Ron still got his channel though? Cause I ain't seen his channel in a minute. He used to be man. I like Ron Cleveland, man. I forgot what happened to him. I don't know what happened to him. Yeah, I'm not saying Trent Jr. ain't no joke, but I'm saying, see, some of y'all think you could just throw all of this talent together and it's going to work. It doesn't work like that. You got to have a fit. You got to have a fit. Okay. So for Trent Jr. to fit, Manuel quickly would have to be moved. And that's what I'm saying. He's a guy that is, if Quick leaves, that's the guy that you want to look at, Trent Jr. Young, dynamic, coming off your bench. Yeah, you can't just say, "Oh, I need all these guys," and if somebody gets it, I still got an all-star. It doesn't work like that in real life, yo. It doesn't work like that. I appreciate that, God. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. See, Gumby's an example now. Gumby is wavy. He's the top dude in Randall Hive. I've never seen anybody as faithful to Julius Randall as Gumby. And when Julius started balling, did I give Gumby did I give you your props and tell you, you know what? You was right. You was right. He's the Knicks' best player. Did I tell you that? Because you know what? He was right. I was wrong. You know what I'm saying? I told him I gave him his props because he was right. You know what I'm saying? And have no problem. I'm glad I was wrong that we got the best Julius Randle that we could get, better than even 2 years ago. Man, shoot. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But nah, right now, I did insult you on the way, Gumby. I had to admit, I had fun at your expense. I mean, but dude, you kind of opened yourself up to it. You know you did. Thanks, Unc. I appreciate it. You know you did. You kind of opened yourself up to it, man. Like you was treating like Randall like he was Messiah, man. Like he could walk on water, move mountains, and bring the dead to life and all that. That's all I'm saying. I mean, you have to admit you was going really overboard with the love for Randall. And I hear you, Gumby, but I did give you your props as you would do your props. You did. I know it has. And it should be, Gumby. It should be. You should be. You know what? You should enjoy, again, you're a perfect example, Gumby. Enjoy this journey because your boy is playing ball right now. Randall is the toast of Madison Avenue right now. He is the toast of 33rd Street. He is the toast right now of the town. Randall is. And you should enjoy every moment of your boy's success. You should enjoy every moment of your boy's success. You really should. Yes, Roku could play, but where is he going to play? That's the same problem. We stacked right now. So if IQ leaves, you got options. Gary Trent Jr. is an option. Jordan Clarkson is an option, and Roku Jokovitis is an option. Now, here's the problem with Jokovitis. Let me ask you a question. You all know the Don. The Don is cheap, but the Don has shown a penchant in the past to try to strike and make that move, so like he did when he took Kemba Walker, even though he was on a short-term deal, which was smart, and he took Evan Fournier, and he will strike and get the iron, while it's hot. So if the Knicks end up in the 6th seed, which I believe they're going to be minimum 6th seed, minimum 45 wins for the New York Knicks this year, and they go to the playoffs and don't let them win the first round series. If that happens, I can see the Don saying, you know what, I love Jokovitis, but let's just package him with some picks and let's get something. Because if you can sign a Jordan Clarkson or you can sign a Gary Trent Jr. to take IQ's place, if IQ is moving on to start somewhere, and IQ to me, more than Clarkson and Trent Jr., IQ is more of a ready NBA starter right now than both of those guys. I wouldn't put Trent as the starting point guard anywhere. And he's a little small to be your starting. How tall is Gary Trent Jr.? How tall is he? He's a little small to be your starting two guard, isn't he? He's a little small for that, isn't he? I mean, right? How tall is Gary Trent Jr.? I'm seeing here. I can't find. How tall is this young man? I don't even know. They don't put it on Spotrac. How tall? He's about 6'3", 6'4". Is he 6'5" pack-up punch? Is he really 6'5"? Oh, yeah? Okay, so he's kind of got Grimes style size at the two guard spot, which is a little short, but as you can see with Grimes, that doesn't stop him from being a lockdown defender. So, but I don't think Gary Trent Jr. is the defender And I'm just saying he's a good, but I'm saying he's not he's a big time shot maker, but he's not the defender that Grimes is. So I'm not putting him in front of Grimes. I'm not signing Gary Trent Jr. to be in front of Grimes. I'm not doing it. So where would he play? He'd have to come in with Mobb Deep. Okay, you'd have to come in with Mobb Deep, and so with Mobb Deep, you only gonna get 4. So what, you gonna take Deuce's place? I don't think so. Tibbs ain't like that. If Deuce is going to be in his 3rd year with Tibbs, he's not getting out of the rotation. He's going to be a fixture. So you're going to have that. So now that's, again, if IQ leaves, then you get Gary Trent Jr. because that's just perfect fit right there. Gary Trent Jr. is perfect there. Yes, right. Juju is the Broadway bully. He's the Broadway bully. And so we got the Broadway bully. We got the Q-Dog. We got Rowan. We got JB. Mitch Rob, the Block Nest Monster. OB Jets, Toppin. You know Toppin don't have legs. He got jets. Toppin got jets. We got the Deuce card. And we got RQ. We got a nice squad. Yo, you know we got a nice squad. We got a nice squad. We got a nice team. Y'all know we got a nice team, right? We got a nice team. Stop worrying, Kevin. Stop worrying. Kevin Bacco. What we've been saying, y'all, Kevin might not have been here, so let's give what we've been saying, y'all. Tell Kevin not to worry. What should Kevin be doing, y'all? Come on, Knicks Nation, talk to me. What should Kevin be doing? Kevin shouldn't be worried, right? Kevin shouldn't be worried. What should Kevin do? Kevin Bacco, please. We're going to give you some advice, some good advice, Kevin. What are we going to do here? We're going to do what, Knicks Nation? We're going to enjoy the journey. We're not going to worry about Obi. We're not going to worry about the minutes. We're not going to worry about burning our guys out. What are we doing? We're enjoying the journey. Why? We're the 6th seed, top 10 in defense, offense, and net rating. All NBA level play from Julius Randle. All-star level play from Jalen Brunson. And here come RJ. Enjoy the ride. Just enjoy what we're doing, man. Don't worry about nothing. Don't worry about what we need a bench piece to come. We need to go trade for a bench. No, we don't. We need to enjoy the journey. This is a year where you're going to look back and say, man, they had quite a year last year, man. You're going to look back in the summer and say, Dak, the Knicks was playing ball last year. Yes, they were. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey. Okay, enjoy it. Just embrace the journey. Yes, you're going to have things you don't like. I can't stand when I see number 55 come into the game. It bothers me. When I see number 55 and I'm watching my man Sims just sit over there, it bothers me. But you know this is real, right? This is real life. You're not going to get everything you want, right? You're not going to get everything you want. But what's going on? They're winning. They're winning. Let's just enjoy that. Let's hope they can beat Toronto today. This is not going to be easy. This is not. Let me look at the. Let's look at the. What you call it? Look at the report. Who's playing for Toronto today? Who's in? Who's out? Let me see. What's on their injured list today? Let's take a look. Toronto lists Fred VanVleet as questionable, lower back soreness. Ooh, that's tough. Otto Porter's been out. So Fred VanVleet is a major deal. If Fred VanVleet doesn't play today and they got to bring Malachi Flynn in there, I like Malachi Flynn, but the Knicks will have an advantage. The Knicks will have an advantage. I appreciate that, Amari. Thank you for the love, my man. I thank all y'all for the love, man. I appreciate that. I really do. You know, the hate I don't give a crap about. But I like when y'all show the love. That's beautiful, man. I appreciate that. I ain't gonna front. This is the thing. Kevin asked a question. Are we signing KP or trade? The preference would be the sign. And the reason why is because he can opt out and become an unrestricted free agent. That's why I'm saying if I'm Washington, I got to make a decision. If I'm the Washington management, I got to make a decision. I'm going to either trade him and get something for him now and see KB can become a rental. He can become a rental for a playoff team right now. You know, like a Los Angeles or a team that wants to get to play like the Lakers. He can become a rental for them. Okay, he could become a rental for them. But Washington's got to try to get something for him now because this summer he can opt out and walk away for nothing. And if that's the case, I want the Knicks to sign him just by creating cap space. You see what I'm saying, Baco? Because we can create $38 million in cap space between Evan Fournier, Derrick Rose, and Cam Reddish. We can create $38 million in cap space. We can use that to sign him. Okay, we could use that to sign him. We don't have to sign IQ to his extension until October, and then that extension doesn't kick into the following season, right? You hear me? So we don't have to sign. Those extensions don't kick into the following season. RJ's extension kicks in next season. But if we can get $38 million from those three guys sitting on the end of the bench, we could get KP in here and not have given up anything. We've talked about this, Marco. You probably weren't here, but no, Randall is going to be an all-star this year and more than likely all-NBA. He's going to be a Knick for life unless he decides otherwise. Do y'all remember when James Dolan came and asked for his autograph this year? Did y'all see that? James Dolan came and asked for Julius Randle's autograph at the end of a game, right? So no, we're not going to trade. His value can be any kind of way you want it. He's going to be a Knick for life. He's in. Forget it. He's here. Okay. And then I would be concerned about Obi, but I'm not concerned about Obi because Obi has shown no inclination to want to leave. He doesn't show any inclination to say, I need to be starting. He hasn't shown any inclination to want to start anything in New York, but be where he's at. So if that's the case, let's keep him right there. Sign him to a $14 million a year deal, 4 years, $56 million, something like that. I do that. 4 years, $56 million, something around Mitchell Robinson money. I would sign Obi to Mitchell Robinson money. And let's go with that. Let's just move forward. See, y'all remember too, the cap is going up. I would be concerned if Randall started acting up. And let me tell you, as far as Randall, the basketball player, I don't see it happening. I see him as maturing as a man. But y'all know, and I know, Randall can wear his emotions on his sleeve. If him and his wife, God forbid, start having any trouble, if there's any divorce talk, that's going to affect him. That's going to affect him. So let's hope that his family life is good, his wifey is good, his kids are good. I hope he's all good, because that's going to affect him. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, no, I don't see him reverting back to last year because of all the support he's got now. He's got the support of the management. He's got Jalen Brunson. He's got RJ on his side. He's got serious support right now. And Julius is a guy that needs that. I mean, more than most players. So he has that. And so I don't see him reverting back to a-hole Julius from last year. That's what he was. Ain't no retentive fool last year. That's what he was, period. But he has now matured as a man. And so I'm thinking, I'm not really looking for him. I think he's going to be better as far as his attitude going forward, especially with this crew. He really is turning it around. You know how hard it is to change people's minds in New York? They was booing him last year. They was calling RJ. They was booing him last year. Okay. And he was thumbs down in everybody. It was an ugly scene. To come back from that, yeah, once you saw Dolan ask for his autograph, he ain't going nowhere. This cat is going to be a Knick for life. And let me tell you something else. If the Knicks win a chip while he's on their team, his uniform is going to be up there with Walt Clyde Frazier's in there. I'm telling you. If they win a championship with Julius Randle on this team, his uniform is going to be hung from the rafters when he retires. There's no doubt he will be, because look, even Ewing never won a chip with the Knicks. It wasn't his fault. It was the Knicks management's fault. But he never won a chip with the Knicks. He never got that second star to do it. You understand? So Ewing, he would pass Bernard King. He would pass Ewing. Yeah, if the Knicks win a chip, Randall would be up there with Clyde and with Earl of Pearl and Dave DeBusschere. He would be up there with all of them, okay, if they win a chip. So, and that's possible. That's entirely possible, okay? That's entirely possible. So I would not, so I think he's going to be fine. I don't expect any, he's going to have his moments. Every player does. It's an emotional game, but I think overall he's going to be fine. I think Julius is going to be fine. I'm not worried about Julius. That's the thing now. He has set my mind at ease, man. And it's a combination, like I said, of Grimes and of JB and of Dolan and of everybody having his back. See, you can't, I know y'all say, and it's true, Tibbs didn't hold him accountable, don't jump in. You can't treat every player the same. You can't. This is the league. People get paid to do this. And like I said, I remember Red Auerbach. Some of y'all who know who Red Auerbach is. Red Auerbach was one of the legendary coaches in NBA history and general manager. Slick. Danny Ainge learned under Red Auerbach. Now, Auerbach would treat all his guys differently depending on their temperament. He would treat Charlie Scott one way. He would treat JoJo White one way. He would treat Paul Silas a completely different way. He can curse Paul Silas out, and Paul Silas would love it. But JoJo White, he didn't curse JoJo White out. JoJo White, he encouraged JoJo White. You know what I'm saying? So you can't treat everybody the same. This is the league. Everybody's different. This ain't high school. This ain't college. It's the league. So Tibbs wisely handles Julius different than he might handle Deuce McBride, or he might handle Quentin Grimes. He'll yell at Deuce McBride and Quentin Grimes. He'll yell at Mitchell Robinson, but he won't yell at Julius because that's not the guy you do it to. You got to be easier with him, okay? And if you get his support emotionally, he'll perform for you at an all-NBA level, and that's the most important thing. You hear what I'm saying? That's the most important thing. Whatever we need to do to keep Julius Randle playing at all-NBA level, let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, so no, Julius Randle, especially if he's all NBA this year, he's going to finish his career as a Knick. Unless he changes his mind, he's going to finish his career as a Knick if he's all NBA this year. That's going to be, and don't let him win a first round series. We won. I think the time we played Atlanta, the Knicks won one game in that series, and New York went crazy. Imagine if we win a first round series. Please, man, Broadway be going nuts. They be going crazy in New York, man. So I think we'll be in good shape. I think we'll be good. Okay. And I'm really spoiled. Julius Randle has spoiled me. He spoiled me. I'm expecting 20 and 10 every night. And I mean an effective 20 and 10. I'm expecting him to hustle on defense every night. And he's been doing it. I'm expecting him to make big rebounds. I'm expecting a lot. I'm expecting availability. And he gives you all of that. He ain't getting hurt. The dude's a brick doo-doo house. He ain't getting hurt. And when he takes a boards, he'll take it with somebody grabbing the ball with him. I mean, oh yeah, he'd be one of the greatest Knicks of all time if he gets to the ECF. There'd be no doubt. Okay, there'd be no doubt. He would be. I mean, that's how New York is. When we get a hero in New York, they love it. Okay, they love it. They love it. So you get a dude like that, and he's your guy, and he get to the ECF. And I'm gonna tell you something else. You know who else gonna be a hero? Jalen Brunson, because Jalen Brunson, believe it or not, is actually better in the playoffs than he is in the regular season. He's one of those guys. Okay, you remember like I was saying, like Alec Burks is a playoff piece. Alec Burks is a playoff piece. He's not a guy you want to start a point guard, but if you want him coming off your bench in the playoffs, because he'll come off the bench and get 20 for you in the biggest moments. That's Alec Burks. Well, Jalen Brunson is that guy too. He got the playoff gene. Jalen Brunson is going to do work in the playoffs. Nobody wants to see Jalen Brunson in the playoffs. And do you know why? Because number one, playoffs is half-court basketball. Okay? Playoffs, it gets tight. The rotations get tight. The games get physical, and it's half-court. And that's where Jalen Brunson starts to play. And so, brethren, enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride, Knicks Nation. Don't worry about anything. Just enjoy what we got, because we got something, man. We got something in New York. Don't listen to the haters. Oh, I don't think they're going to be that good. Or they may be in the play-in, or they're overperforming. Just forget all that. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Just enjoy what we got. We got a really good team. We're playing really good ball right now. Enjoy the ride. Now, when the summer comes, okay, we'll talk about that. And, some of y'all mentioned some players. I looked at Taylor Hendricks for University of Central Florida. He was a big-time recruit and decided to go to a mid-level D1 school in University of Central Florida. And he's typical of a guy I'm talking about. He has upside up the yin-yang, no pun intended. He got all kind of upside. There's a lot. This is what makes this draft special. It's not just Victor and Scoot at the top who are obviously generational talents. And then the Thompson twins are also, generational talents. But you got a lot of guys, 18 or 19, that are not going to really be ready to play and contribute on an NBA level for like 2 years. And this guy Hendricks is one of them too. So like, if I'm the Knicks, I'm going for Chris Murray because he can help me right away. He can help me next year. But if I'm going to go the development route and get somebody that got put in the G League and develop him, there's a bunch of guys like that. You see, and you can get them after 15. There's no need to try to get into the top 15 for a bunch of these guys. There's a lot of guys you could get in that next 15 that you can develop them in G League. You could do stuff and have a player in 2 seasons, and I'm really excited about that. So if the Knicks decide to go that route and go the development route, yeah, this kid Kendricks is pretty good. Kendrick, what's his name? Dang, I forgot his name. But Kendrick's, he's at the University of Central Florida. This kid, he's pretty good. He's not ready now, but he's going to be. He's not ready right now. Some guys get all hyped up. Saying, this guy's a surefire top 10 pick. I don't know about that. But 2 years from now, he'll be in good shape, But there's a bunch of guys like that. Even the Thompson twins. I wouldn't say they're ready now, but 2 years from now, these kids should be good. And that's how I look at it. I'm not looking at what they're like right now. They're not going to contribute next year to a Knicks team. They would be coming in 2 years and be ready to contribute. Okay. Yeah, Omari. That's really, if we could get KP and not have to give up assets, we draft Chris Murray and we keep IQ. Oh my gosh. We got a home. What I'm excited about is not only will they be good, but they're homegrown good. It ain't like we needed to go out and sign a superstar. Yeah, we would have homegrown good at that point. Mitch Rob, KP, Randall, all guys that are our guys. Well, Randall we've signed, but KP, Mitch Rob we drafted, RJ we drafted, Quentin Grimes we drafted, Obi Toppin we drafted. Woo, man, that would be something. I guess what I'm saying is let's wait until next summer. We don't know nothing yet. Let's wait till next summer. Yeah, be homegrown good. Let's wait till next summer and let's see what got. Somebody asked Kevin Baco asked, what's the rotation? I would start KP at the 5 next to Randall and make Mitch Rob the captain of Mobb Deep. That's what I would do. It would be Mitchell Robinson, Obi Toppin, Emmanuel Quickley, and Deuce. That's my Mobb Deep. I'm starting KP, Randall, RJ, Grimes, and JB, and I'm going to have the 3 guys 4 guys, Obi, KP, Randall, and Mitch Rob rotating through the 4 and the 5 spots. I'm not, so I'm going to rotate them. They're all going to be part of the 9-man rotation, and they're going to rotate through the 4 and the 5 spots. That's a hell of a team right there, man. That's a hell of a team right there. That's a hell of a team, man. That team is going to be dangerous, man. No, I don't want Alec Burks back. No. I'm just saying he's a playoff type dude. No, we don't need Alec Burks. We got our team. Jonathan Isaac is another possibility. Again, he's sort of like Kristaps Porzingis. He really is, because now Jonathan Isaac, if you start Mitchell Robinson, now you have Jonathan Isaac with Obi Toppin with, imagine this now. You got Mitchell Robinson starting like he is now, but then you're going to have Obi Toppin, Jonathan Isaac, Emmanuel Quickley, and Deuce McBride. Yeah. See, brethren, if we just wait and be patient, we don't have to make no moves right now. We don't have to make no moves right now. Okay, we don't have to make no moves. We just have to wait. Y'all hear me? We're not making no moves this year. Don't trade anybody except for iHeart. If we could trade iHack, if we could trade him, I'll do it, right? And then, of course, the expiring money we got. And then the biggest trade piece to me that we got to move is Evan Fournier. We got to move Evan Fournier. That's where the Don's going to make his money right here. You got to move Evan Fournier. Yeah, Delgado, you messed up. Gary Trent Jr. would be good for us only if Emmanuel Quickley decides to leave. If Emmanuel Quickley decides to leave, then we go get Gary Trent Jr. or Jordan Clarkson. Okay, if we don't, and that's only if we don't want Roku Jokovitis coming in. Yeah. Isaac is really not a 3. Really, he's not. He's a 4-5. Isaac is a 4-5. Some people thought Randall could play 3, but we learned if you think Randall can play the 3, just remember the San Antonio game against Keldon Johnson. He could not guard Keldon Johnson because Keldon Johnson was too quick for him. Randall can't guard quicker players. He needs the bigger guys. He has no problem with. He can guard better Giannis than he could Keldon Johnson. That's right. Florida State got this other kid that's really good. What's this kid's name? Baba? What's this kid's name? Baba something, right? Baba. What's that kid's name, man? Y'all know who I'm talking about? Is it Baba Miller? I think he plays for Florida State. Yes, Baba. Anybody coming out of Richard Hamilton's program, or not, I think it's anybody coming out of Hamilton's program, you got to pay attention to, okay? Because they're good. If they come out of, Scotty Barnes, Malik Beasley, anybody coming out of Hamilton's program, Jonathan Isaac, anybody coming out of that guy's program, you better pay close attention to. Devin Vassell, all of them come out of Florida State, okay? Devin Vassell, Jonathan Isaac, Malik Beasley, all of these guys come out of Florida State, okay? Scotty Barnes, anybody. Yeah. I don't know why anybody's even discussing Tobias Harris. That's an NBA 2K move. We don't even discuss that. That's just a name of Trey Mann. That's right, for the Clippers. That's right, Tavares Jody. Trey Mann. All of these cats out of Florida State can play. They can play, man. They just can play. There's only one guy, and I thought he could play, that didn't really make it, and that was Dwayne Bacon. Y'all remember Dwayne Bacon? He was actually on the Knicks for a second. But Dwayne Bacon, I thought he was going to be better. He got drafted by Orlando also. I like Dwayne Bacon. But don't sleep on anybody coming out of this Leonard Hamilton. No sleep on nobody coming out of Leonard Hamilton's program, man. Don't sleep on them because they can play. He knows how to teach a guy how to play ball, especially defense. All of them could play defense, okay? All of them could. Yeah, that's right. Leonard Hamilton, that's what I'm saying. Don't anybody coming out of Leonard Hamilton's program at Florida State, pay attention. So this cat, I may not have watched Baba Miller, but he's in Florida State. So, yeah. He's at Florida State. So he's under Leonard Hamilton. He's going to learn how to play basketball, baby. He's going to learn how to play on a big level. And let's not forget Patrick Williams. Pat Will over there in Chicago. Pat Will's another one out of Florida State. See, you got Pat Will. There's just these cats can play. Okay, all of them can play. I'm telling you. So we'll see. We'll see. Baba, I just because he's at Florida State, I'm going to look closely at him. Just because he's at Leonard Hamilton. I'm serious. Because he's playing for Leonard Hamilton, I'm going to look. I haven't looked at him that closely yet, but I just found out that he's playing for Florida State and that he was one of the blue chip dudes. I was like, okay, let me see what we got here. Okay, because I'm going to look closely at this guy because he's playing for Leonard Hamilton. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. If somebody say KP is a 2K deal, I want you to explain to me how. Because I just explained to most of the people here, I told you how we would get him, and I told you under the circumstances we would get him. Okay, I didn't just blurt out 2K or too injury prone. I told you how we would get him. I told you why we would get him. I told you what the risks are when we got him. I told you all of that. Okay, so you weren't here. Maybe you weren't here. You didn't hear that. Maybe you don't understand that. But there's more reasons to sign KP than not sign KP. Okay, there's more reasons to sign him than not sign him. Okay. He's not going to cost as much as people think, especially with the cap rising. He doesn't have to be the man. He's a third option. He's a third option. Kristaps Porzingis as a third option. Okay. You mean it's the Y with KP, Michael Drake? Is to the Y's with KP? Is that what you mean, Michael Drake? I'm trying to get. You're asking me to repeat what we said about KP in the beginning? Okay. Kristaps Porzingis this summer he has a player option for $37 million. He can opt out of his $37 million. And that's how I would like the Knicks to sign him. In other words, if he opts out of his $37 million, the Knicks can sign him for nothing. Just money. It wouldn't cost no talent. Okay. Y'all got me so far? I want to make sure you got me so far. If he opts out of his $37 million, the Knicks can sign him. He'd be an unrestricted free agent, and the Knicks can sign him for nothing. Y'all understand that? So we wouldn't have to trade anybody to sign him. We just need money, and the money we would have is in the form of Derrick Rose's expiring deal, Cam Reddish's expiring deal. The work would be getting rid of Evan Fournier because that's $19 million they got to get rid of. I would even attach a pick if it meant getting KP. I would have to pick to get rid of Evan Fournier. So now you have $38 million that you can get KP with. Now, secondly, KP is not going to be worth $150 million that he signed with Dallas. He's not getting that. He's not getting $158 million. He's probably getting around Jalen Brunson money. He's probably getting $100 million, somewhere around $25, $27 million a year. So with the $38 million you clear up, you can get him. Okay. The cap is rising. Now let's talk about KP, the player. Yes, he got hurt a lot last year. I think he only played 17 games or something last year. But I've been watching him this year. He's playing differently than he's played in the past. He's playing more within himself. He's not extending himself to get himself hurt. He's playing within himself. He's playing more of a high IQ game, a help defender game. And of course, he still can shoot the lights out if you let him. He's got the tremendous bank shot that he's always had that's still there. So he wouldn't be as big a risk for the Knicks as he would have been as a $158 million player. Okay. All right. So now the Knicks, if the Knicks signed him for cap space, you have the option of starting him next to Julius Randle or playing him with Mobb Deep. Either way, either you start Julius Randle with him or you start Mitchell Robinson or you put Mitchell Robinson with Mobb Deep. Either way, the Knicks are Eastern Conference threats, Eastern Conference Finals threats. Let's look at the two scenarios. Okay? Julius Randle, Kristaps Porzingis, RJ Barrett, Quentin Grimes, Jalen Brunson. Kristaps would not be anything more than a third option. And you know how, if you watch Thibodeau's offense, he has a guy come to the pinch post a lot. Sometimes it's Randle, sometimes it's Robinson, but it would also be Kristaps Porzingis coming to the pinch post. From that point, you have people moving in different directions. People that say he don't have an offense are not paying attention, because you got to watch closely. Tibbs has an offense, and he has people running, and he gives the guy with the ball the options. Usually it's just Brunson calling his own number. That's what happens, but you have a lot of triangle. And so Kristaps works in that scenario. So now you have him as your fourth option. That's all I'm saying. So now in that scenario, Mitchell Robinson, Obi Toppin, Emmanuel Quickley, and Deuce McBride is Mobb Deep. That is the best bench in the NBA. That is even better than Indiana's bench. That's the best bench in the NBA. That bench causes you to look like Eastern Conference finalists. Okay? You're talking about Mitchell Robinson. You're talking about Obi Toppin. You're talking about Emmanuel Quickley. You're talking about Deuce McBride. That bench allows you to talk about Eastern Conference Finals, because now Brunson he's already establishing his all-star cred right now. Even if he doesn't make it, he's kind of a lock next year if he comes back the same. And then you still got Julius Randle, and you still got RJ Barrett, and you still got Quentin Grimes. This team would be looking like Eastern Conference finalists. Okay. Let's put it this way, and let's say KP gets hurt. What do you have if KP gets hurt? You have the same team you got right now. Instead of having Mitchell Robinson and Mobb Deep, you have Jericho Sims there. We're still 50+ wins. See? So it's a low-risk, high-reward play in my view, especially given the salary cap rise and given that we can clear the space by getting rid of those three players at the end of the bench. That's what I'm saying to you. And that's if KP opts out. Now, there's possibility that they trade him to the Lakers, or they trade him somewhere to a team that's looking for a guy like that, or Toronto, or a team, somebody like that. So they can trade him and try to, if I'm Washington, I'm trading him now. I'm trading Kristaps Porzingis. Washington right now is like the 10th seed or the 11th seed, and they're paying $200 million to Bradley Beal. I mean, and if Kuzma really leaves, Washington's the 12th seed. So if Kuzma really leaves, they're in trouble, man. I would start selling off assets. If I'm Wizards, I'm selling off assets. I'm selling them all off. I'm trading Kuzma. I'm trading KP. I'm trading everybody. I'm even looking to trade Beal. I'm trying to start, if I'm the Wizards, I'm starting with my youngins. Rui Hachimura, Corey Kispert, Denny Abdiva. I'm starting with these youngins. If I'm the Wizards, that's what I would be doing. Okay, I don't think Johnny Davis is that good. I never did think he was going to be that much of an NBA player. I told you that. I still don't. But I'm still starting with the youngest, and I'm trying to get some picks back. That's what I would do. If they mess up and don't do that, and KP goes to the summer, he can opt out and leave for nothing. Yeah, he could average 25. I'm not worried about what Julius Randle is averaging, man. That's what I'm saying. I don't worry about that stuff. Can we win? Can we win? That's all I'm saying. Can we win? And if Julius does his thing, we could win. If he does his 2010 thing with the two-way basketball thing, we could win. Appreciate that, Jay Cruz. Appreciate that. So that's all I'm saying. I don't know who it was that asked. Was it Baco? I think you asked, right? So that's what I'm saying. That's the reasons why I would look at KP. It's high reward and moderate, not low, but moderate risk. Not that great a risk, especially if you can keep Mitchell Robinson. That's not a great risk. That's not a great risk. And this is the thing. NBIC says, how can we judge Deuce without him getting minutes? Now, this is the thing. If Deuce continues on the path that he's going with Thibodeau right now, what is he now? He comes in there for defense. He comes in there at the end of the first quarter, sometimes second quarter. Sometimes he starts at the end of the third quarter. But if he starts hitting that jump shot and this year, then you're going to see more minutes from him later. But to me, either way, Tibbs is very loyal to guys that are in his system. Deuce would be in the third year with Tibbs next year, and Deuce is going to get better over the summer with his jump shot. He got a shot. He just needs the rhythm. And so he's going to get better, just like Obi did. So I'm saying I'm not worried about Deuce. He's going to be all right. Yeah, you can't get Turner for Turner's going to sign a big deal. He wants to start, and he's going to sign for big money. I don't know who's going to end up signing him. Okay, Baco. Okay. Yeah, I don't know who's going to end up signing him, but he's going to get big money. He's going to get $100 million, just like KP. And so, yeah, the thing about KP that I like better than Miles Turner is KP can also play the 4. KP can play the 4 or the 5. Turner's a strict 5, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we could take Turner and have Mitch Rob and Turner together as a tandem. That also would be, something we want to do. But I think Turner, I'm looking at Toronto. Toronto's on the make for a center. If they get a real good 5, they're going to be trouble. They're going to be a problem. With the team that they have, they're just missing a solid 5 guy. If they get a solid 5 guy, like a Miles Turner, they're going to be really good. They're going to be really good. Okay, or they get a Jonathan Isaac or Kristaps Porzingis. If they get in them, even like a guy like a Vucevic, if they get a Vucevic who doesn't play much defense, but they got enough defense around him. But if they get a guy like that, they're going to be good. See? So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Mitch Rob is that's my man, Mitch Rob. Mitch Rob and Deuce are my favorite guys, and Obi and Grimes are right there, right behind him. I love Obi and I love Grimes, and I like IQ too. I can't front. I mean, I like all of them. Yep. So we're in good shape, Knicks Nation. But that's why I would look at KP. That's why I think he's a possibility. All of these things are conspiring together to make him a possibility. So let's see what happens. But I hear you. Anthony Edwards is good. I'm just trying to say I am not giving up Quentin Grimes. I'm just not doing it. And I'm not trading RJ Barrett. Those are 2 cornerstones. You got to decide who your cornerstones are without looking at, the guy across the street. I want those 2 guys to remain. We drafted them. They're my cornerstones. I'm sticking with RJ. I'm sticking with Quentin Grimes. I'm not giving up nothing for them. That's what I'm saying. The only way I would trade either of those guys is if you told me Luka Doncic wants to come to the Knicks. Everybody's on the table. If you tell me Luka Doncic wants to come to the Knicks, everybody's on the table. Okay, everybody's on the table. That's one of those guys. Okay, if you tell me who else? If you tell me SGA wants to come to the Knicks, okay, I have to say everybody's on the table. If Shai Gilgeous-Alexander wants to come to New York, everybody's on the table. Yes, they are. Okay, that's all I'm saying. But there's certain guys, I wouldn't do it for Booker. I wouldn't. I would keep Quentin Grimes. I'm saying, and I love Booker. Booker's a tremendous player. I'm keeping Quentin Grimes, though. I'm not doing it. I'm keeping Quentin. Quentin, my guy. Okay, there's only a couple players. If you tell me a superstar that can bring us to the Eastern Conference, because look, if you keep just out of the 9-man rotation, if you're able to keep 6 of them and add Luka to the 6, you're going to the ECF. Okay, same thing with say Gilgeous Alexander. But then if you're looking at Shea, you got to get rid of IQ or both JB. You got to move somebody. You're going to have to do that, if you're going to get Shea. MB, that's another guy. Give me MB. We're going to the ECF. That's right. The problem, and that's what I'm saying, with somebody looking at Tobias Harris. He plays next to MB, and they haven't won nothing yet. They haven't won nothing yet. So why you want Tobias Harris? He's the third option next to MB, and they still ain't won nothing. I don't want Tobias Harris. I'm sorry. Yeah, Joker. That's right. Joker pretty much owns Denver. He's like John Elway level with Denver. So I don't think he's going nowhere. But that's a guy. That's what I'm saying. A Joker, a John Chitz, or SGA. You talking about superstar level players that can take your team to the finals. Okay, then everybody's on the table. Okay, I did not consider Donovan Mitchell that guy that can carry us to the finals. No, I did not. I still don't. He's a tremendous player. He's an all-star player. He can even be all-NBA, but he's not that guy. So that's why I said no. Okay. I hope not. I don't think Joker's MVP this year. I don't think so. To me, you got to look at Tatum. You got to look at Durant. You got to look at Giannis. To me, those guys. Joker is up there, no doubt. I ain't going to front. Joker's up there, but you got to look at those guys too. You know who's surprising? And I thought they'd be good, but the Kings, man. The Kings have surprising everybody. The Kings are surprising everybody. And you got to look at Ja Morant too. Ja Morant is another guy. The Kings are the 4th seed right now in the West. Dallas is the 5th seed. I mean, shoot. Memphis is the 2nd seed. I mean, yeah, the Joker's up there. Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities, Joe Curry. I love Joe Curry, but I generally don't like his trade ideas. I love Joe Curry, he's my man, but some of the trades you come up with, my brother, and as complicated a trade as you can come up with, man. Oh my God. Love you, man. You know who else is like that? My man Al Cinder over there at with my man Jay Ellis. Al Cinder I love Al Cinder, but he comes up with some of the craziest trades. I'll be like, what? Dag, that's some strong wine, man. Shoot. That's some strong wine, man. You know what I mean? But well, even if KD is soon to be done, let me tell you something. He can carry a team to the finals right now. Right? He can carry a team to the finals right now. KD can. So, yeah. Yeah, Toronto, well, not fully healthy. Aren't they talking about, I see a sore back for Van Fleet. Did you see that, Liam Neeson? I saw a sore back for Van Fleet. Yeah, I'm not sure if he's playing, but they got him as questionable. That's what he's listed as, questionable. So I don't know, and he's an important piece for them. The lineup dropped, so he's playing? Okay, thanks. Thanks for that information. So apparently Van Fleet's a tough guy, man. He's a tough dude, too. Yeah, so he might, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, and I like our 9-man rotation against Siakam. They didn't play the 9-man rotation against Siakam the last time. We didn't have them. I think guys were hurt, but we got the 9-man rotation now. Yeah, we got the 9-man rotation now. So I'm just saying, I don't think Tobias Harris is a bum, but he's not worth $180 million, and I'm not trading anybody in my 9-man rotation for him. I am not trading Grimes or RJ for Tobias Harris. I don't know why anybody would even think that. That's not going to happen, man. No, that's not going to happen. Okay, but yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident today, but I'm cautiously confident against Toronto. Toronto has a thing with New York. They beat us many times. This is even before. One time the Knicks were up in a game in the playoffs when we had Sprewell on our team. We had Sprewell and Camby, and they were up in the playoffs, and we ended up losing the game, man, to Toronto. This is when Toronto, this is like early 2000s. I was like, we lost the game to Toronto. So I don't know. Don't sleep on Toronto. We got to take them seriously. We got to beat them today. So if we can beat them today, we're in good shape. I like it. All right, let's do it. Let's beat them today. Let's beat Toronto today. All right, let's beat them. But again, let me finish with y'all on this note. Enjoy the ride. Okay, the Knicks have won 7 of their last 8. They're 7-3 in their last 10. Enjoy the ride. Don't worry about stuff, Knicks Nation. Just enjoy the ride. Okay, just enjoy it. Don't worry about what Thibodeau is doing or not doing or how many minutes they're playing. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy it. Okay, because we are playing really good ball right now. And they're not playing their best ball. They only had like 17 assists the last game. They didn't play their best ball against Detroit. But the big 3 is crystallizing. It's coming together. And so let's enjoy this ride. CP, the fans, I was explaining earlier, I understand what CP is doing. And Jay Ellis is doing the same thing. What they're trying to do is build up their channel. So you're going to have to get with the script of the national platform to build up your channel. You understand what I'm saying? My channel will never be what CP Free channel is. CP franchise would never be that because I'm not going to do that. I tell them guys to go pound sand, and I tell them when they don't know what they're talking about. But if you want to build up your channel, you got to get these, especially, excuse my friend, but you got to get these Caucasian people that's got big platforms on your channel. When you start doing that, then it helps your channel. It does. And CP did that. He was getting Alan Hahn on there. He was getting all of these dudes from MSG on there. He was getting dudes from ESPN. He's made appearances on ESPN. That's how you blow up. Okay. If I was trying to really blow up, I would do that, but I can't. I can't do it. I started this channel because I love the Knicks, and I really don't care about everybody else, and I'm not critical of them when I don't need to be. And so I'm not going to follow a script because ESPN wrote the script or the Bleacher Report wrote the script or they gave Ian Begley a script and he's got to follow it. I'm not doing that. But I understand. I'm not blaming CP, the franchise, for blowing up his channel. He's making money, man. I don't know how much he's making, but I know he's getting paid well from that channel. He's getting paid well from that channel. Okay. And that's what I'm saying. I don't really listen to them that much because I don't get into that stuff. I get into more real. This is raw. You know what I mean? I'm raw. So that's how that works. But I can understand why they do it. Okay, I can understand why they do it. They do it because that's how they get blown up. You start showing up on MSG or SNY, like CP is throwing on SNY. You start showing up on ESPN. Now you making money. Okay, if you got to make that money, that's what you're doing. Okay. See, I'm an IT dude. That's how I make my money. I get some money from the Knicks channel, but I'm an IT dude. That's how I make my money. I don't make my money from the channel. If I did, I would have to probably compromise and do what they do, but I'm not doing it. Okay, I'm not doing it. Okay, that's what I'm saying. I'm just raw. That's me. So I tell somebody, you full of crap, get off my face. You don't know what you're talking about. And listen, y'all could bear witness. Everybody was hating on Dolan. Was I hating on Dolan? Tell me. Everybody was hating on Dolan. I was not hating on Dolan. I was putting love for Dolan, and everybody was hating on him, and I put love for him. Okay, because I appreciate what he did. That's what I'm saying. If I wanted to blow up, I'd have to join that chorus. Or Dolan sucks, and Dolan got to sell the team, and blah 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 blah. I got to join that chorus if I want to blow up. Okay, but I don't care. To me, Dolan was right for throwing Oak out the mess. Oak was acting the fool. He was drunk and he was talking mess, and he's trying to talk mess at the owner while he ain't playing. He's just a fan now, and he gets thrown out. And his pride, he didn't swallow his pride enough to say, I was wrong. So keep your ass out there. I'm not. No. Sprewell, I remember distinctly Sprewell coming back with the Minnesota Timberwolves and tongue lashing Dolan. I mean, gave him a tongue lashing. And Dolan just sitting there laughing, and he was getting every basket Sprewell scored at MSG, he was giving it to Dolan. Sprewell went through all his money, and he literally gambled his money away. And with gambling and whores, he lost all his money. And who is he working for now? Who is he working for? Who's giving his Sprewell a paycheck right now? It's James Dolan. Okay, it's James Dolan. Okay. Stevie Mills was the president of basketball operations. The Knicks signed 1 million power forwards. Remember that? They signed 1 million power forwards, and they didn't do too well. So what did Dolan do? Did he fire Steve Mills? No, he didn't. He put Steve Mills in another position as an executive at Madison Square Garden. He did not fire him. See, that's what I'm saying. Stuff like that, people don't talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Louis Luck. So we won't see Wall Frank Isola podcast. Wait, I thought his name was Frank Isola. But that's the type of guy I'm talking about. See, you want to blow your channel up, you got to get a Frank Isola in there. And Frank Isola, you get him in there, and he'll blow your channel up. See, you get Alan Hahn, Frank Isola, you get one of them cats in there, and you'll blow up. Then I'll get 20,000 subs. That'll happen. And you talk sports with some of these dudes, that'll happen. Okay, that's all I'm saying. That's exactly right. See, I saw that because he hired Stevie Mills, Perry, and then he hired Fizz Goggles. Now, that was a terrible coach, but they was all black. Nobody did that. Tell me another team that did that. Black president of basketball operations, black head coach, black general manager. Then the head of scouting was Michelle Obama's brother, something Robinson. He was the head of scouting. All of them was hired by James Dolan. Come on, y'all. That's what I'm saying. Don't buy into the hype because he throwing people out because they deserve to get thrown out. And some, Frank Isola or Stephen Bondi can't come into the locker room when they want to. Dolan say, get the hell out of here. I don't blame him. That's his team. You want to come in, you toe the line or get the hell out. That's my man. That's what I'm saying. I don't have no problem with Dolan. I got no problem with him. None. Okay? None. No, he's not the, warm and fuzzy dude that's like in Dallas. He's not that warm and fuzzy dude that everybody likes. But I'm telling you, he takes care of the guys at MSG. Look, I couldn't stand the way Isaiah Thomas was the biggest egotistical maniac that I've ever seen in Knicks management. And Dolan would hire him back today. He would. He made him the coach of the New York Liberty. He would hire him back today. Okay? He would hire Isaiah right now. Dolan loves Isaiah. Okay? That's what I'm saying. ESPN got a script, man. This is the script. Hate on the Knicks. It brings more revenue from commercials. Hate on the Knicks. By the way, Big Blue won yesterday. I watched the game. Big Blue did business yesterday. Y'all seen Big Blue yesterday? Big Blue did business yesterday. Did y'all see that? Big Blue did business yesterday in Minnesota. Did y'all see that? Big Blue did business yesterday, y'all. I mean, Big Blue did business yesterday, baby. They did business yesterday. That daggone Jones was playing his tail off yesterday. He was acting like, what's that dude in Green Bay? Oh, God. The guy that won the chip in Green Bay, he could run, he could pass. He was playing like him yesterday. Yo, Big Blue was doing business yesterday, man. Rodgers, he was playing like Aaron Rodgers yesterday. He was playing like Aaron Rodgers yesterday. He was running when he needed to run. He was stepping up in that pocket. And at the end, man, he was running that clock out. Oh my gosh. I don't know what's going to happen next week. Y'all know who they play next week? Who do they play next week? Who do the Giants play next week? Are they playing Philly? That's going to be a tough one. They play Philly. Who they play? If they play Philly, that's going to be tough, But look, the Giants have been in that situation before. The last 2 Super Bowls they won, they beat an undefeated New England Patriots team with Tom Brady. Y'all remember that? They did. New England didn't want to see the Giants in the Super Bowl. No, you did not. So sometimes they come up big, but it is not looking good against Philly. Philly's the Super Bowl favorites, I got to say, this year. Philly's been stomping on people, and they did beat the Giants the last couple of times they, But you know what? I don't care. That's what I'm saying. I'm for Big Blue, baby. I'm rooting for Big Blue all the way. I don't care. Big Blue. Let's do it. Okay, just like the Knicks. I don't care. Big Blue, Big Blue. I was happy yesterday. Big Blue won and the Knicks won. I was happy yesterday. Okay, I was happy. So yeah. So I'm going Big Blue. Let's do this, man. Let's go, Jones. Let's go, Jones. Do your Rodgers act, baby. And them receivers was playing ball yesterday. And of course, my man Shaquan. Shaquan was doing business yesterday too. Oh my goodness, they were playing good yesterday. And that front line, oh, they was in that boy's behind yesterday. Oh my gosh, man. Cousins was running, man. Shoot. I do need to get called. I'm just too busy, man. Matter of fact, I got things I gotta do now. But Ron. I love y'all, man. Love, much love, Knicks Nation. I appreciate all y'all for real. I have fun with y'all. It's almost like hanging out with fellas. Hanging out with y'all online is like hanging out with fellas. It's really fun, man. Praise the Most High, yeah. Praise the Most High, yeah. I'm just very happy about that. So listen, enjoy the game today. They're gonna play in half an hour. Let me go get ready. I got some things to do. But listen, y'all, I really appreciate that love. Let's wait a minute. I don't want to get in trouble, right? I don't want to get in trouble. Y'all know I don't want to get in trouble. But I am raw. I do things to get myself in trouble. Sometimes I just do. But let me just. Oh, I don't want to get hit with the. Let's put them in their place. Let's put them in their place. That's Mobb Deep, man. That's Mobb Deep. Put them in their place. That's Mobb Deep. Put them in their place. Mobb Deep. Put them in their place. Put them in their place. Man, that's right. That's how we get down. That's right. Woo! All right, let's do this. Y'all enjoy the game. We'll be back to review it tomorrow morning. All things work. We'll be back to review it tomorrow morning. We will talk soon. Shalom, Knicks Nation. Be safe out there. Shalom.